I miss having the opportunity to share music I'm excited about with other people that's excited about the same kind of music. Hey, what is going on, everybody? It's David here, helping you play creatively. Now, that's obviously what we do here at Play Creatively, where we talk about different creative ideas to help you grow in your piano playing journey. Today, I just want to share with you my musical journey, kind of how I got started, where I'm at now. And I'm really highlighting this thing I've been experiencing, which is musical loneliness. Now, you might be saying to yourself, what do you mean, dude? This is what's been going on. So when I first started playing the piano, I started playing at church on Sundays, Wednesdays, and rehearsals during the week. I was playing at home for my mom and my dad. I was playing at school for, my little orchestra bands and stuff like that. And I was enjoying it, man. Like, I had so many opportunities to play music, to learn about the craft, and it was like so much discovery that was happening for me. But I was doing this with a community of people. So at church, I'm doing this with the other musicians at church. There was a musician there. He was our music director, right? And he got me into thinking about structure and arrangements and having a plan when you play, just not playing randomly, but thinking about it. And that was so fundamental to my development. I remember my church actually paid for me to go to drum lessons, and they didn't realize it, but they sent me to my cousin, right? He's a real prominent drummer in town, and they sent me to him. And so there was so much discovery happening in my life, and that was just at church, let alone the discovery that was happening with my teachers in school, from junior high school, Mr. Simpson, high school, Mr. Neely. These guys would just take time to explain different concepts that we weren't even talking about in class, right? They just introduced me to the world of music. There was all this discovery. And then, I was playing music at home for my mom and dad, and they would just give me a lot of encouragement. I remember my dad actually negotiated my first salary I got when I was 14 years old at a church. And so I just had all of these factors, kind of this wind that was pushing me to just love music. And this increased even when I went to college. So when I went to college, I met a ton of musicians who were incredible, and they just had this amazing passion around music. And so I remember rehearsing with a lot of these guys in the bands for hours and hours. I mean, there was one band when I was playing for this choir, the evangelistic singers. You could look them up, and we would have choir rehearsal from 5 to 7 p.m. and that was class time. Then the band would rehearse after that from 7 to sometimes 12 o'clock. I remember even being kicked out of the music building because we were rehearsing so long. But that was just a demonstration of all the passion we had around our craft and how much we just wanted to be better musicians. It was these same guys that, introduced me to different bands. I remember listening to Robert Glasper with my buddy Angelo in college, and just being impressed by all the chord changes, all of the runs, all of the licks that he was doing. I remember going to see my first Snarky Puppy concert, driving 2 hours with a whole crew of people, different cars, headed down to Atlanta to see Snarky Puppy for $10. Go and try to see Snarky Puppy for $10 now. You can't do it. I know for a fact, because I just saw them about 2 weeks ago, and it was $250 to sit in their recording session, and it was worth every penny. But this just describes the environment I was in from the time I was growing up as a kid all the way to college. And then I leave college and things start to change. I still am around people, at the first church I was working with, that had a passion around music. And, we would rehearse for hours and hours, but it was a lot of imparting, right? I'm imparting the knowledge I have learned. And I'm not saying this in a derogatory sense, but this is a reality. There's not anyone around me that is there to impart knowledge to me. And so, I noticed that some of my passion around music, began to fade a little bit. And then I moved here to Dallas. It wasn't long before me and my wife, we had twin boys. And, I was really deep into the church world, but moving more into a director position where I'm no longer, the primary keyboard player. So why do I need to play keys, right? And so at this point, I'm now hiring musicians, and that's great. But, as a piano player, which is what I really consider myself that, first, I missed that same passion I had when I was a kid, when I'd be excited about Sunday and Wednesday and Thursday. I mean, my parents never had to tell me, hey, it's time to go to rehearsal. I was ready to go. They didn't have to wake me up on Sunday morning to go to church because I couldn't wait to play drums. In these positions I've held over the years, you move over into having a lot more responsibility of organizing the program, and that's great. I love what I do, but my primary responsibility is not being a musician, right? And I miss that. And I no longer have that community I had when I was in college. I no longer have like a killer dope band that was, willing to play the brand new song that was coming out that everybody wanted to play, but not just playing that song, right? How are we gonna make it ours? I miss having that. And I just, that's kind of the phase of life that I've drifted over into, and I've just been thinking about the days that I miss and feeling musically lonely. I just miss the days where, I would be hanging out with my friends and they'd be like, man, have you heard of Moonchild? Have you heard of Snarky Puppy? Man, have you been listening to Coyote Hiatus? Like bands you probably haven't even heard of, but just this exploration that was happening musically. I miss that. I miss that passion. And so lately I've just been feeling musically lonely. And so I share this with you because, I notice in this place of feeling musically lonely, that also equates to me feeling musically stifled or not growing like I want to. And I think it's related, right? If you're in a community of people that are pushing you to grow musically, you're gonna grow. And if you are not in a community like that, I think that you will always have a cap on your growth, because there's something about just hanging around people and that are excited about music, because that excitement is contagious. And it makes you want to go home and practice and work on your craft, because you get to share it with somebody. And that's what I miss. I miss having the opportunity to share music I'm excited about with other people that's excited about the same kind of music. If you like content like this, do me a favor. Go ahead, like and subscribe. And if you want to learn the piano in a step-by-step process, go ahead and check out all our resources at play-creatively.com, where you can find everything you need to grow as a piano player, even community. And I say that because that community could just end up being one more person, which is me. I check in with, quite frankly, all of my students. I reach out to you. I see how things are going. All right. So until next time, keep watching, keep learning, and we'll all keep growing together. I'll see you guys next week.